And this is 3 years with the Chevy Bolt. This is the 3-year review of this 100% electric Chevy Bolt with a B. Now, I've had it for 3 years now, and I think it's safe to say that I have a good feeling on what kind of car this is, to tell you pretty much everything about it. First off, I have a new cameraman here today, Jay Steezy.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
All right. And just to lay it out there, the reason I got this car as an entry to see if I was ready to go full electric. And initially it was 238 mile range, and that's what I felt like I needed to get by on a day-to-day basis. It was one of the top car mileages at the time offered, and the price was right. It was about $43,000. That was before the Model 3 and things like that. So overall, the car is a good transitional car. And what I mean by that is, if you're coming from a regular gas car, this car is an easy transition. It looks pretty standard, right? It looks like a standard vehicle. Lots of controls here, tactile controls, tactile buttons, which is a complete opposite of what you find in like a Tesla, right? So this is someone that's familiar with driving a car, like most of us, a regular gas-powered car, and it has your standard features. Now, what makes it stand out a little bit is right here. Looking at the shifter here, to put it in park, you press the button, right? Right now I have it in L, and when you have it in L, that is the 1 foot driving with the regenerative braking. So when I drive, I take my foot off the gas and it stops, right? And for the most part, it works, but there are times where it's not initiated correctly. So I'll have it in L, I'll take my foot off the gas, and the car will keep rolling, right? And the reason I call it a nice transition is because if I put the car in D, now it's like your traditional vehicle. My foot's off the gas and I'm rolling. I need to use my brakes a lot more. I never keep it in this mode. I always have it in L. And I know Teslas, you can switch back and forth, but you have to go through the menus. It's easy. It's easy to just hit it while you're driving, right? You can just switch it back and forth. Now, when I had my father-in-law drive it, I had him drive it in D first till he felt more comfortable, and then I introduced him to L mode.
So would you recommend this car for somebody that's just getting into the electric vehicle game?
I would not. I have seen these around $27,000, $28,000, which is a great value, but I would easily recommend the Model 3, which is around $35,000 to $43,000 in the same price range, but they offer you a whole lot more. Software updates and the infrastructure is a lot larger. But if you're a heavy GM loyalist and you love it, it's a great car. My problem is they're not selling too well. So I don't know how far they're going to be support there. I haven't had one update available, and I even checked the other day. I haven't seen one update, but I have read they have released some, but I don't know how you get it. I read someone say you have to get it through the dealership, which is not very convenient at all. But it's kind of boring. After a while, you get bored of it. Now, some of the pros, plenty of headspace. I'm 6 foot, you're 6'2", and how do you feel about the headspace?
Oh, it's got plenty of headroom. I feel if you're 6'5", 6'6", you'd be fine in here.
Yeah.
Plenty of headspace.
Feels good. Even sitting in the back, there's plenty of room for adults, four comfortably. And it's kind of deceptive when you look at it from the outside. It looks kind of small and compact, which it is, but just having that elevated ceiling makes you feel like you have a whole lot more space. Also, with the navigation setup, there's no built-in navigation, which is not a huge deal, because if you have an iPhone or Android, you can hook it up. It has Apple CarPlay, and it does have Android Auto. It pretty much displays your phone menu on the screen itself. So it works for both people. So you can use your Google navigation or Apple Maps or whatever. It's just a hassle of plugging it in, if that is a hassle. If you look right down here, here's the charging port for my cell phone, and it is not one size fit all, right? You see it is limited space there. A regular iPhone fits. Does the iPhone Max fit in there, Trina? The Max does not fit in there. If you have like a Plus phone, it probably won't fit in there. It charges pretty slowly, so I would usually just plug my phone in and then it charges, and then I can use Bluetooth and things like that. But that kind of takes away from, you know, having the premium feature. This is the added feature with the technology package. The range is no longer a capacity of 238 miles. It has degraded quite some bit. Recently we started at 222 and it stopped charging at that point. And we do have it to 100% charge. So it did degrade a lot over 3 years, which makes me a little nervous over a longer term of ownership. Right now I have 35,000 miles. So what is it gonna look like at 100,000, right?
Are there any safety features that you really enjoyed with this vehicle?
One thing that really stands out to me. So let's say they have the lane assist. So once you have it on lane assist, if you drift, it will take control and move you over some of the time. It works maybe, I don't know, 50% of the time. Yes, it depends on where you are and what it reads, but that feature is a no, it doesn't function properly. Also, if you notice in the side mirrors, they give you sensors of when cars are in your blind spot. This works sometimes. I don't know if it's the craftsmanship, if it's just a bad model or something like that, but I never took it in. It didn't bother me that much to where I want to take it in and get a service, but just something to note. Another safety feature in which I love, when you put the vehicle in reverse, you see an overhead camera view of everything around you, so that it's a virtual view, but they have cameras set up where you can see things on your right, your left, when you're backing out, reversing, things that may be in your way. Also, they have a feature where they'll let you know when vehicles or pedestrians are walking behind you on the left or right or driving by, and it'll alert you well ahead in advance so you can wait and then look for it.
How would you say that this car drives in regards to power and acceleration?
It's an EV and it's quick. It is shifty. It's deceiving. The looks catch you off guard. A lot of people disrespect it because it doesn't look like it has much power. It doesn't look like it's speedy or zippy. So if there's times I need to maneuver quickly, I can floor it, and you'll definitely feel the G-force. You'll feel the power. That's another great feature about this car. It has plenty of trunk space, and also beneath the trunk, there's more space. You see this in some other vehicles, but it's, again, a little deceiving how much room there is. We're able to fill this up with plenty of groceries, no problem. Oh, I almost forgot about the number one best thing to me is, after 3 years, $0 in services. The brakes still look immaculate. No oil changes. I guess I can get the wiper fluid checked or added or something like that, but I haven't done a thing to the car. I did blow out a tire. That was my fault. There's something to be said about that, definitely. Something else people brought up was, a lot of people said the seats were uncomfortable. What would you say about the seats? Now, it might be broken in now, but how do you feel about the seats?
I mean, to me, they feel very comfortable. I mean, they're not the most comfortable seats I've ever been in my life, but they're definitely fine. I don't know if I want to, maybe for a longer distance travel, I could see how it could get a little bit more uncomfortable, but I mean, with the Bolt, it's really, around town, things like that. I don't see an issue at all with it.
I think it's a great EV for city driving. I think if you're going to get an EV, make sure it has at least 200 miles of range, which this does. I recommend this for people that love GMs, love Chevys, want something that feels a little more traditional, something that won't seem so luxury. I don't treat this with as much care as I do with my Tesla. Treat it a little differently, but it's always good to have a car where you can just pick up, go, have the kids eat what they need to eat in there, relax in it. It just gives you that more everyday feeling to it. But as a first EV, And for someone that's kind of like borderline, should I do it or not? I think you'll be pretty satisfied with a Chevy Bolt.